It's happened again. Another person has died in ICE custody. This time it's a Mexican national who died last week at a private detention center in Adelanto, California. He is the fourth immigrant to die in that lockup since September. We've also obtained police video that shows events leading up to the arrest of another.
We have breaking news. Brand new cell phone video we've just gotten in showing a very different angle of that deadly Minneapolis ICE.
It's just after 6 a.m. on Flowers.
ICE agent.
ICE officers.
The ICE agent
Comes next, specifically because it does involve a federal agent. So to do that, we're going to join by the
Strips of explosives. Inside, Jenny.
Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother, tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smashing of car windows. Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough.
Hello. This is my final project regarding about if ICE commits crimes and punishments against citizens in the U.S. regardless if they are immigrants or not. So, a little bit about myself. One, I am 22, turning 23 this year. My name is Sabrina. I go by any pronouns. Some people call me Sab, and I am born into a Vietnamese Chinese immigrant family. My dad's Chinese and my mom is Vietnamese. Start of a young age, I would say around middle school, I did have a sense of idea what ICE was. I shouldn't have at that young age, but of course media has made it a accessible source where I was able to research my own. ICE is a federal agency created in 2003 under the Department of Homeland Security. And they started their rise after the September 11, 9/11 attacks in New York City. And their so-called main job is to enforce immigration laws, to have them more stricter, make sure no illegal immigrants are coming into the country. And it also impacts a lot of citizens as well, because they would end up wrongfully profiling a actual citizen who is born or raised or even have the papers to prove that they are a citizen, even if they are an immigrant. And yes, people do criticize ICE because of the way the agency carries themselves and their ethical morals of how they handle arrests and how they identify a quote-unquote illegal immigrant. A lot of articles would argue that ICE agents sometimes separate families, detaining immigrants for long periods of time, and create fear in immigrant communities. One thing in an article that I found definitely will show how ICE agents have separated women and families, and there has been sexual assault cases against the women that are being detained in these detention centers. And it makes me think that this is the system that is supposed to protect us, us the people. I also want to emphasize this. Immigrants have definitely created this country. America is a hot pot country, and especially New York. Immigrants have created everything that is around us: culture, work life, traditions, values, and the way we all run this country is based off of our history and based off of our blood. Now, I could definitely be sitting here and 100% be providing the facts that I know as a minority person and an LGBTQ person as well. However, I have people that will be interviewing as well, and you will see them, and they are a minority group. Some of us are Bengali, some of us are Filipinos, and some of us, like myself, are Chinese and Vietnamese. It's also nice to have another point of view from a different person and different age group. So sit back, enjoy, and I will definitely be showing the questions that I have asked them, and Yeah, and after this, I will give a brief summary of my general topic. Thank you. Enjoy. It's also nice to have another point of view from a different person and different age group. So sit back, enjoy, and I will definitely be showing the questions that I have asked them. And yeah, and after this, I will give a brief summary of my general topic. Thank you. Enjoy.
My name is Adid.
My name is Kimberly.
My name is Josh. My mom immigrated here from the Philippines when she was, I think,
My parents immigrated from the Philippines.
I've been born and raised in New York, in Brooklyn, England. My family is from Bangladesh. They moved here in the 90s. Um, I've grown around in diverse communities around New York. It's growing up in elementary, middle school. I've felt a strong desire to assimilate in the greater sort of social structure around me, more to become one with closer to white America. Um, so I suppressed a lot of parts of my identity when I was younger. My Bengali side, my Muslim side. There's a lot of stigma that comes with being not just South Asian, but also being Muslim in post 9/11 age, where there's mass surveillance, stigma, propaganda against those who are Muslims, to um, frame us as violent or illegal residents that are trying to do us harm or to spread some sort of false set of laws in America.
Well, I was surrounded by a lot of children of immigrants, children who came here. So it wasn't like it wasn't something that wasn't like normal to me, I guess. Like
growing up as a citizen. I was born here in the US. Growing up as a citizen was very interesting, I'm not gonna lie. Um, as a kid, I will say lots of like I was kind of like the way I grew up, I thought it was like pretty normal, all things considered. But I will say that's probably because I grew up here in New York City alongside a bunch of immigrants. And so my experiences were actually shared alongside people that might not have necessarily looked like me, but were treated like me in the system that like we kind of like live in today.
is people being detained on the streets from their homes.
Yeah, I would say I do. I mean, there's one thing, there's the thing that they are on paper versus the thing that they are like functionally.
I do know ICE. I am familiar with the Department of Homeland Security. Yeah, I have a I want to say reasonable fear of ICE. Um, ICE is a very illegal, very unconstitutional group of people in the US.
I would say that me as an individual, uh, me personally, I'm not necessarily afraid of ICE for my own safety, but I am afraid of ICE for the safety of my peers, as well as for the safety of kind of like people that I know with questionable immigration status or people that aren't citizens.
I think personally, I have I think personally, like I have the privilege of not being as afraid for myself, um, being born here and my parents being citizens. I do know that number one, like I mentioned, there is a lot of profiling, so it doesn't even matter at this point. And that can just be completely thrown out the window. I think I fear for my other family members and my friends and my community. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, ICE very much actively commits crimes against U.S. citizens, immigrants, legal permanent residents.
I would say that I do think ICE commits crimes against United States citizens. You know, I think a couple of examples would be the shooting of Renee Good as well as Alex Preddy. I think I think the murder of Alex Preddy and Renee Good are perfect examples of like crimes that um ICE commits against US citizens. It's a clear act of like aggression against people that were not doing anything wrong, in my opinion. Um, so there's that. Another example that I can think of off the top of my head, there have been a couple of documented instances where ICE has sent and deported United States citizens to El Salvador. So there's also that aspect, but like just in general, I feel like the amount of like force that they use against people that are protesting um their operations in like big cities, I think their use of force is unwarranted, and it's like a clear violation and a clear attempt of the people's First Amendment right to protest and the people's First Amendment right to free speech.
They are essentially a terrorist group in the U.S. A specific example I could give would be Mahmoud Khalil, who is a prominent pro-Palestinian activist that attends Colombia, and he's one of many examples of people that have been detained by plainclothing um, ICE agents.
In terms of like legal crimes, like yes, because like I mentioned, there's a lot of just profiling, just basing it off of physical appearance. It's a lot of opinion based with ICE agents when they're trying to seek someone out. There's also so much violence when there are these ICE raids that surrounding people are affected. They get injured, hurt. Some people have been killed because of this, whether they were like involved or the target of detainment or not.
And yeah, this will be the end of my project, and these are my interviews. I hope this project is somewhat informational, and this is something that I'm glad and I really wish I could bring more awareness to. I am definitely also have been doing a lot of research and have been donating to GoFundMe's as well to help families.
We have seen people being taken into custody, put in handcuffs, likely spending at least several hours or the night in jail. You can see.
All I want to say is ICE out. ICE needs to leave. ICE needs to leave these families alone. This country is supposed to be where our home is, but it does not feel safe at all. Thank you.